Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Willis, and welcome back to Age of Engineering. In the last episode, we set up a tree farm that doesn't work. Alright, so we'll get to that in just a second. I have been working between episodes trying to get ready to start advanced generators. That is what I want to get to today and start actually producing a decent amount of EU so that we can start looking at upgrading our systems and making things nice and good and everything perfect. It's gonna take a little bit. We're working on it, but does this take power? No, it doesn't. Alright, cool. But yeah, so we're working on it. It's gonna take some time. So, what are we gonna do? Well, we'll get to that. We're going to be working on getting the advanced generators so that we can start producing more power so that we can start overclocking these machines and producing more both UU matter and iridium. I went ahead and got this guy back up and running, filled it with more uranium, so we should be able to produce more iridium through the molecular transformer. Such an easier way to do that. And all in all, just kind of need to focus on getting more stuff over there. So today's episode is going to be mostly about IC2. So let's get back real quick to this beast. So we were making a tree farm last time. And yeah, we ran into some issues. So the tree farm itself is fine. It's pretty simple. It's just a farming station, and you know, it's got automatic osmium axes and all that kind of stuff. Outputs over here, it's fine. It works just fine. The problem is this guy uses 80 RF per tick, and we can actually do that and use up all of that power, but chop down all the trees. So let's actually take all these saplings for a moment. And I'm going to put them in here, so we're going to get a lot of wood. Now, here's the problem. We need to supply this with a constant 80 RF per tick that doesn't really need to go anywhere. That's the issue, is what, what do we do? So, I think what I'm going to do, just to temporarily fix some stuff, let's break this. And this will be on hiatus for a little bit because I think I just decided what we're going to do. Let's take all these axes. I'm going to move this chest up here, and we're going to continue to use a chest, and we're going to put that, I guess, right next to the wood is fine. Doesn't really matter. Eventually this will all be some sort of nice block because we really don't need anything special with this. But let's put that there. And this is going to be extract brown, always active. And so that should still go into our system if we put axes in here. And just to kind of demonstrate that, if we look at this guy, we take this axe out, it should almost immediately get an axe. So that's the idea for that. And all I have to do is just keep this guy full of axes as needed, and the tree farm will be fine. Now, as for power, I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm actually going to move that guy. I'm going to move the water wheel underneath the tree farm because I believe this guy produces about 80 RF per tick. We can break this. Let's actually turn it off for a second. This guy is not full, so let's actually pick him up. And that goes really far down. Okay, I didn't turn that on. Laser should not be working. Or is it the other way around? No. Okay. I had it right. So let's go back up here. I've also expanded the tunnels. I will get to that in a little bit. I've been working on a lot of things, just trying to clean up the base. what is that configured for? I just want to see, let's see, we do this. Okay, saplings. So we don't need that anymore. Because that was a blacklist so that saplings didn't go into the furnace or something. I don't know. But I just want to see, we have our capacitor bank. It is mostly full, but if we just put it right here, is this really only 40 RF per tick? I believe you can get it up to 80, so I will figure out how to do that and move that over there underneath the tree farm. It'll be fine. It'll be great. Everything will work just fine. And this is just charging all these guys up, and the solar panel is doing most of that. So yeah, once these guys get all charged up, which getting close, this should start going back positive, and it is. Perfect. So yeah, that is the plan. I did this just to see what are we going to get from this. We're going to get more red orchids and redstone. Okay, I'm going to break this. So if we want to grow redstone, I think we can do it that way. I don't know if that's worth it, but I guess we'll find out if I ever decide to do that. So let's clean up our inventory a little bit to kind of talk about what I tried. Before I had a furnace generator attached to this guy, which only provides 40 RF per tick, which is fine, but that's not enough. That's half as much as this guy needs. Then I upgraded it to an overclock generator, which the recipe is pretty easy. It's just gold, some lapis, and redstone. And this worked just fine. It produces a lot of RF per tick. However, it produces it very quickly, and we just weren't getting enough trees to come in to matter. So I'm going to put the generator away, and unfortunately, we're going to have to switch what that is. I think, like I said, I'm going to use a water wheel. If I need to, I'll make a second one and put it underneath there. It'll be self-sufficient. It will never run out, and that's really all that matters. So that's the plan with that, and yeah, we'll kind of go from there. So I'm going to put this in here as well. The tanzanite, I guess, can stay in there for right now. That is just kind of my junk chest right now. So let's get on to advanced generators. Now, before I could really get to advanced generators, we gotta go over here to the calculator area, which I added some stuff to. Voila. I put some andesite. Wide bricks is the chisel. I think it looks kind of nice. I like the way it looks. It matches color-wise pretty nicely, and the pattern is. I didn't want anything too plain because the walls are very plain, so I wanted something a little bit busier, but I think it looks nice. So this guy has been going on for a little bit. I did all of that just to connect it to power. So I ran a power line all the way around. Yeah, I was gonna have to do that eventually anyways, so it's not a big deal, but it took a lot of resources. So been trying to get more circuits because, hey, we got 3. We need 2 of these, and I gotta remember which ones. So it's these, right? Yes. So we need to make some refined circuit boards today. And something else I've been getting is, ooh, that's a new circuit. So square, it goes right there. Perfect. I also got a dirty circuit from analyzing and a flawless diamond, which is amazing. This is something we're gonna want to use relatively soon to get some really cool stuff. Now, something I wanted to see, we can get a health module. That's cool. The last cables. Oh, hey, I didn't realize solar flux was in this, but it doesn't look like it matters too much other than if we need to transfer a lot of power. We'll worry about that later. Don't we have, all right, real quick, I want to see, because I haven't looked. Don't we have wireless RF transmitters, wireless chargers? That is expensive. Okay, so eventually we'll get to wireless energy transfer with Draconic Evolution. And once we get there, then that will be good. But yeah, that's gonna be a while. So I was waiting for another one of these guys because we need to make 2 circuits. So let's go ahead and do that. We want to make these control circuits. But yeah, so what else was I trying to say? Let's see. I don't think I was really getting into anything else. So we're going to work on advanced generators. So we need 2 machines, and one is the thing that's going to produce power, and the other thing is going to produce the fuel. We're going to use syngas. This stuff is useful for advanced generators. You can use other types of oils and fuels, but syngas I think is going to be the easiest. Now, that means we need to make 2 controllers. We're going to need to make a gas turbine controller, and we're going to need to make a syngas producer. The other things you can do is a heat exchanger, which makes steam, and a steam turbine. Those are the 4 controllers for the different machines of advanced generators. So the recipes for all of this stuff is actually pretty easy. It's pretty heavy on iron, but that's about it. But we do need these control circuits, so we need to make the redstone ingots, which, oh, that's what I wanted to look up. If we want these circuits, so a piece of redstone is the way to go. We're going to need like 4 pieces of redstone, and that's it. I'm so glad I made the algorithm separator. That is an amazing block. But real quick, I want to see recipe for this. If we wanted to make damage, we need the extraction chamber, which gives us a chance, but the precision chamber is what will give us guaranteed. And that requires fire diamonds. Okay, fair enough. And then is there something similar for the dirty circuits? Processing chamber. Nope, precision chamber as well. So we'll need to make its precision chamber. We're almost to that point. We need to just make the atomic calculator, which is just iridium. So let's see. We are going to need carpenter. What is the order? I think it's this way. Let's throw these guys in. We're gonna need some water, I'm assuming. Yeah, bucket each. So symbols, stamp, and scissors. Symbol, stamp, and scissors. To me, the top one looks like Japanese kanji, so that's what I kind of consider it in my head. The middle one looks like a stamp, and the bottom one, it looks like it has scissors. So we're gonna do this. Now the pure Certus quartz that we made a while ago, we're gonna be using for this as well. So that is kind of cool. And then we just need the redstone ingots. So once we have enough of that, which we do, we should be able to make the circuits. And that'll do its thing. Perfect. So eventually all these machines, all the calculator machines will be in there. A lot of this area will be cleaned up a lot nicer than it already is. Or than it is currently, I should say. But we're not quite to that point. So there's the 2 refined circuit boards. We're going to need a bunch of redstone iron sticks, and the power modules we'll get to later. So we just need a bunch of iron redstone sticks right now. So let's grab basically all the iron I have, and a couple blocks of redstone, and we should probably grab some more wood, which luckily we have a tree farm. So we're going to be making advanced generators. Advanced generators are really nice because you can actually produce EU or RF, depending on what you put in it. And here's the thing, it's completely up to you what all you install. And originally I was going to put it in this room. I think I want to put it right here. And so we're going to have, I've dug out a little bit of a basement here as well. Talked about that. And so we're going to kind of attach things as we see fit. And the syngas producer is going to be down here. Now, I don't actually know. The syngas producer might require power. If that's the case, we might consider moving it somewhere else. But I don't think it does. I don't know. We'll find out. So let's get the gas turbine first. So we're going to need the control circuit. So we need to just make a bunch of iron and redstone. So control circuit, we're going to need 2 of these, so we might as well get them. And gas turbine, we're going to need some of these. And then we're also going to need the iron equivalents. And we're going to need a bunch of iron frames. So let's get like that many for now. So we should be able to get the gas turbine. And then we're also going to want the syngas producer, which requires a pressure valve. And there we go. Cool. So let's place down the gas turbine. And I'm going to just put, let's see, I'm going to put the controller right here. So if we look at it, the machine is incomplete. It requires at least 1 turbine. We'll get to that in a second. So there's a bunch of different, the really neat thing about advanced generators is it is multi-block. Well, I guess I should say all 4 of the machines are multi-block machines. And the neat thing about it is they are shapeless. So you can put them however you want and it will work. So let's come down here and let's go ahead and place down the syngas producer. Now it's also going to give us a similar error message of it requires a mixing chamber. So let's go ahead and do that one first. We're also going to need a fluid output and I don't know what else. We're going to need a voltage emitter. I think high voltage will be fine. I got lost. Because I think this is an MFE. MFEs can accept high voltage. Yeah, because Mass Fabricator is a tier 3. Yeah, it's a tier 3. So MFE. Eventually we're going to upgrade it to the top tier. But yeah, it's power tier 3. So high voltage is what we'll want. Now we do need a power module for that. We'll get to that later. But that's not too terrible to make. So let's go ahead and make the mixing chamber. We can have between 1 and 25 of these. Now let's go ahead and make 2. So there's 1 and 2. I have no idea what's going to be the best way or like not to do this. Because I vaguely know what I'm doing. I've never used this mod before, so I don't know what's like efficient or like what's the best way to do things. I just know that we can do this. So let's put these guys right here. Now it has an inventory. So it takes in, it needs carbon. No heating chambers installed. So it needs carbon and steam. Now it can make steam itself, or you can pump it in. I believe is how it works. So if we want, we're gonna want a fluid intake and output. We're gonna want 2 fluid intakes and 1 output. So fluid intakes 1, 2, and output 1. Alright, so this guy will get 1 here. Let's go ahead and just, how do we want to do this? We're going to break this block. And I wasn't even close. Okay, so let's clean this area up. Have I been going to... No, I've been going past it, but only on that side, so We need to just clear up some area. Didn't mean to break that, but I've been keeping the dirt and stuff in my inventory just because I've been actually compressing it. Found it easier to do it that way. But let's do this. And cool. So I'm actually going to want to break this stuff and move it. Alright, so syngas producer can go right. Let's see if that's going to be that. So we can put that here. We're going to put mixing chambers right here. We're going to want an output here. We're going to want an input here. We're going to want an item input for this guy as well. But this guy is also going to have we're going to want a fluid input for the syngas up here. So let's just put that there and that there. Perfect. So we'll just pipe between those two. Should not be a problem. In fact, I could probably, and I might want to, let's break these. Yeah, let's move this up one. Because we actually don't want this up against the wall. We want it like here. Syngas producer, fluid output, fluid intake, and we'll do an item intake. And then we'll need the heat things, and we should be pretty close to the syngas producer. So let's see, we don't need that. Let's go ahead and throw all of this stuff, I guess, in here. And yeah, inventory. That'll work. Okay, so we're gonna want an item input, not output. Item input. So we just need 2 of these. Yeah, it's taking a lot of iron to make this. So there's the item input, and then gas intake. I don't know what the gas intake does. Flux generator, item output, fuel tank, heating chambers. We need these, right? Because we have the mixing chambers, we're gonna need like a couple of these. So we're gonna need 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2. Alright, so heating chambers, let's get like 2 of these. We can have up to 10 of those. And I think that's about it we need for this. So let's go ahead and install this stuff, and we can honestly start working to see if it works. So how the syngas producer works is you provide it water and let's see, let's move this once again over one. So we're gonna want heating chamber here's fluid intake we'll get to in a second. So syngas, mixing chambers, fluid output here, fluid intake, and item import. So that should be everything we need. And what it's gonna do is it's going to accept water. So I have a tank over here, and let's go grab some carbon. And while I'm over there, I'm gonna throw some iron into the ore processing. Not this one, but the other one. Not quite ready to use that one yet. So let's throw some iron. Let's get some coal. And yeah, we'll need to do some other work. We'll come back over here for that. But let's just see if this will work. And then we can get the other IC2 stuff that I want to at least start on and then mention. And we'll go from there. So we'll have to hook this up nice and neat, but let's see. This guy, push. So this is filling up with water. We put carbon in here, and it will start to produce heat. It will actually burn up the carbon, and it will produce heat to make steam. And then it will take that heat, output configuration. We'll worry about that later. So it will take that heat, and essentially it's going to take all this carbon and produce syngas. Now once it heats up, we will start producing the syngas, and then we can start piping it elsewhere. We can also use wood for this, but I have a ton of coal, might as well use it. If we find out later that we need the coal for something else, we'll worry about it then. So let's go ahead and get the gas turbine ready. And this is where things are going to get a little bit annoying. So we're going to need 2 of these and half of these, because we need to make a advanced circuit for this power module. We're going to need conductive iron, which I don't have, but that's easy enough to make. Isn't it just redstone? Yeah, redstone and iron. So we need 6 of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's wait on that. And do the conductive iron. We're going to need pistons. Which is it? The vanilla? Yes. We just need some cobblestone. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's get some more planks. And 2 pistons. Conductive iron. And then all we need is the circuit, which I believe requires glowstone, 2 glowstone, which I should have. I have more glowstone than that. I just haven't actually turned it to dust. So let's come over here. Let's see. Do we have the stuff to make a circuit? We do. I can throw that away. Iron plate. And we should be able to make the power module. So advanced circuit is just one of these guys. Plate, redstone, and then that. So advanced circuit, and then something like this will make the power I/O module. Perfect. That's really the hardest thing that we needed to make outside of the turbine itself, which we'll get to in a second. So let's go ahead and make, let's see, with the high voltage, we're going to need 2 of these. We're going to need basic machine casing and 2 more wires. So do we have enough iron plates? No. So let's just go ahead and chop up a block. Won't take too long. And we'll be able to get the voltage. So this guy requires 1 turbine. How bad is the turbine? I haven't actually looked at that. Manual turbine requires this manual turbine blade, which requires a bunch of manual. Actually, 11. So that's something we can handle. And then it requires this pellet RTG fuel. We need 9 dense plates. Or rather, not that many. We need a bunch of dense plates. So that's something I kind of forgot about, to be honest. But that's not too bad. We can handle that. Assuming we have enough power. So, high voltage emitter. Perfect. And we're going to put this right here. And yeah, hopefully nothing blows up. Theoretically, the only thing that should blow up is the MFE, but tier 3. So yeah, output's 512. It should be fine. So we just put that there. So we still need a turbine. By the way, have we produced any syngas yet? Let's go see. Now, I'm not worried about like actually doing anything with the syngas yet. It should be just in a tank, and we have quite a bit of it, but we ran out of water. So that's something we're gonna have to fix, and we will pretty easily with a reservoir. I'm gonna put that kind of in the middle of this room because we're gonna need that for other things. We'll get to that soon enough. Because that, excuse me, that actually has some other things to do with what else I want to work on, because IC2 is really slow. We're going to start speeding it up with overclocker upgrades, and in order to do that, we're going to need to make some new things. So, let's grab... Alright, I want to just see... Alloy smelter, it's 1-to-1, so we need 11 of each, and then we need 6 blocks of iron, which we don't quite have. So we're gonna need more iron. Just grab the rest of this. Should not be a problem. If we need to go mining, that's fine. I hope I don't have to, but there's worse things in the world. So have I run out of power? I have. Let's charge this back up. And we can start looking at, and here, those guys. So that'll make our manulin. To make the manulin blade. Now, the top tier turbines are vibrant, advanced alloy, let's see, manulin, and I thought there was another one, but I think it's only if you have a different mod installed. So those three are, it's Enderium, that's right. Enderium turbines are also really good, but you have to have thermal expansion installed. So since we don't get that option. Ooh. Advanced capacitors. Don't think we'll need that. So, that's done. Let's get the iron. We should have enough. So we need 2 of these guys. And that is the turbine rotor. So, manulin advanced alloys, which requires a shaft that's steel. That's annoying to make. Plus a bunch of advanced alloys. I figure we're going to go for manulin. It's the easiest one to get because manulin is so common. So we might as well. Alrighty then. So we have... I'll deal with this rest of the stuff later. Let's grab our batteries so we can run a little faster. There we go. So we have pretty much everything we need to finish this up, I think. So we need to cut these into plates and then compress the plates, and we actually need to put on this armor so that we don't die, because we're going to be messing with plutonium and RTG fuel pellets. So we should have just enough plutonium. We need 3 of these, and we have just enough. And then all we have to do is place that like that and compress all of these plates, and that will get us the pellet of RTG fuel that we need for the turbine. Otherwise, we just need 2 iron frames, 2 recipes worth. And let's see, the rotor, iron tubing, and then 2 redstone tubings. So hopefully this is everything we need. I actually don't know if it is or not, but we'll find out soon enough. I don't think I made any dense plates. Let's go ahead and go look. I kind of forgot about that part. But we might have. I don't think so. If I did, it's not a big deal. We'll deal with that later. We'll get to it again later, I guess. But yeah, I don't see anything. So while we're waiting for this to process, let's talk about the other thing. Actually, let's go ahead and get the reservoir. So we've already made one reservoir. We're going to need another one. We're also going to want more fluid conduits. And the pressurized ones are fine. So reservoir, wow, I cannot speak. Reservoir is, I believe, just fused quartz. Or not. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, it's fused quartz and a cauldron. So we're gonna need some more fused quartz, which we have quite clear glass there. So it's just a bunch of quartz. How much is it exactly? It is 12 for 3. We need, so it's 4 each. We need 8, so we need half a stack. And we'll go ahead and get this going. We're going to put it in alloy only mode just to make sure. And yeah, this should be fine. We'll need a cauldron. And all of that I'm doing with this is just to get water. Because we're going to need it for the syngas as well as the other thing which I want to make, which is a solar, basically to make the overclocked upgrades, we need to make coolant. And one of the easiest ways to make coolant is if we use distilled water. Now that's not too much of an issue, other than we have to make distilled water. There's two ways: a condenser, which requires steam, or we can use this solar distiller. And I think we're going to use this because it's so much simpler. We're just going to need more iron that I don't have currently. So we'll get to that later. Let's pop it down underneath the ground. And let's see, this guy is going to get water attached to it. So let's grab a bucket of water. We'll pop down here. And I think kind of just central to the room will be fine. So we'll just do it like right here. We have a pressurized fluid conduit here. Insert on the top. We'll worry about that later. And then this guy we will disable. I didn't mean to click that. I wanted to see. There we go. New. Disable and insert. And of course that is full of the syngas that I just lost. Oh well. So we need to turn green conduit disabled. Hopefully that's fine. And we'll put that there. This guy is a little bit less of a concern, but we can put him here. And that's fine. That is fine for now. And then for the distiller, we'll find a spot for it. And I'll probably need to make more pressurized fluid conduits, but we'll get to that later. So let's pop down here and fill up the reservoir so it will actually start doing things. We can turn this guy on extract, always active. This is insert, and this guy should be full of water. And then this is also going to be always active. And I want this to be extract as well. It's good to have it to do that. And just trying to think of if so this is that little corner. Let's break that open. And right here, why not we put the thing I wish those I need a wrench in order to get those two to connect. I'd rather have that, so we'll break that. It shouldn't be a problem. We just need to wrench it. I'll worry about that later. But let's see. Do we have everything? We do. So we can put this here. Pellet of RTG fuel. Our turbine. And just place that right there. Alright, so current fuel consumption, and it is output configuration EU. I wish that it wasn't, there might be a way to do that so that it's not, but we're getting a lot of power. Now, this doesn't have much syngas yet, but this will eventually start kind of producing more. But we're making 2 millibuckets a tick, whereas this is using like half a millibucket a tick. So that's not bad. I'll look up and see how I can change this so that it's in EU, but there's more things we can do. We can add, I believe you can add, yeah, up to 50 turbines. So each one will produce up to the point. We can add fuel air mixers and then gas mix compressors, which is just going to increase fuel efficiency. There's a lot of things like that we can do. Whether or not we're going to do them is another thing, but let's go ahead, and if we have enough iron, I want to make the solar distiller thing because that is super useful and would be really good to have. Now, do we need to have redstone control module? So we can add this, and then it can be activatable by redstone, but this is fine for a basic power source for now. We'll just improve it later. So let's put that back, and I need to go grab a wrench and a little bit more iron. So we just need to make, I've done all of that iron. Where is my wrench? I know I have a Yeta wrench, at least I thought I did. I might be able to use this wrench. We'll find out. Anyways, let's head underground. I should have a little bit of iron down there, and I want to make the solar distiller. So that is going to allow us to make distilled water, which is going to allow us to make coolant, which is basically what we need in order to start actively like overclocking your machines and making everything go better, go faster. Because that's something I'd like to do. I don't know about you guys, but when your machines are incredibly slow, you kind of want to speed them up. Just a little bit, you know. It's just, it gets tiring waiting for everything to kind of process. Let's go ahead and put our armor back on. That'll clear up some inventory space. And we'll need a block of iron. We're going to need some glass. And this machine is actually pretty cheap. However, I believe it's incredibly slow. So there is a trade-off. What do we need? Oh, it's just empty on the middle. Okay, so we have everything. But this is going to allow us to make the distilled water for our coolant so that we can make the overclockers. And that's something I'm going to want to do relatively soon, mostly just because of... So let's just disconnect all of these. I don't feel like making the Yeta wrench. It's kind of expensive, I believe. So we'll just do this. Insert. And we're going to have to destroy these guys. We lost some water. Oh well. Didn't mean to go that high up. And then we can do this. So extract, always active. Once those fluid conduits are filled, you have to use a wrench to tell it that it's okay to fill up another conduit. So that is why it doesn't connect. But we're just going to put this here. It needs to see the ceiling, I do believe, but that's about it. And by ceiling, I mean the sun. It works basically like a solar panel. So there's that. We need 2 of these. And that should be everything we need for the solar distiller. And then we're going to use... So this guy has water, and it will start making distilled water. And we'll put this on... Does that work? You're still going to make distilled water? Yes. We're going to configure input output. So pull the distilled water out. Perfect. So that's all we need to do. I don't actually know what any of this stuff does, but it's going to always have water, and it's just going to produce distilled water. It's not terribly slow, but it is slow enough. So I think that's going to be it for this episode. We have an advanced generator. We have syngas producer. The only thing we don't have set up with this is just an input for the carbon, which we're actually almost out of. And really, that's about it. So I will kind of set something up with that later. And yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. So how much of this stuff do we have? We have 7 iridium ore. We need 16 to get to the next age. This will slowly kind of process. Something else that I want to start working towards is something that we're going to need later, which is the liquid heat exchange, which allows you to, it requires iridium, it allows you to turn lava into Pahoho lava, which is required for basalt, which is required for later. So this is something we're going to want to make, and we're going to just attach this to a Stirling generator, and that will produce energy for us for basically something that we need anyways, so it's perfect. So yeah, that's another thing that we'll get to do in a future episode. So let's take a look. We have another circuit that's analyzed. This is a blue stamp. It goes here. And some soil. We also get power cubes from this and starch extractors, which these guys can be used with redstone. We can have a redstone extractor for a tree farm, but eh. So yeah, that is gonna be it for this episode. I am going to finish the tree farm up with this guy, and honestly, I think at this point we might start looking at kind of improving some automation and getting more power more places. But we'll take a look at that later. So, or rather, in another episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I don't know what we're going to do next time. That's what it comes down to. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!